So originally I had this Easter video planned out, and now it's June. Still gonna try and do that. I wanted to talk about Passion of the Christ and what I thought about that movie as a whole. I may just have to save that for later. I know, I'm sorry. The timing is weird, and also the point I wanted to make doesn't really match up with anything that's going on right now. It wouldn't be relevant. It would just be weird to rush this after delaying it for so long. Again, time management coming back to hit me again. I'm sorry I'm not a real YouTuber, guys. I haven't really talked about this a lot, but last November and then into this January, I was in a contest with the Santa Barbara International Film Festival. What it is it's this thing called 10-10-10, which is we get 10 filmmakers and 10 writers from high school and college in the Santa Barbara County area. And we get a filmmaker and a writer that get paired up, and then over the course of about 2 months, we have to write a script for a 10-minute short film that'll be shown at the last day of the Santa Barbara International Film Festival. So really, really cool experience. Also consider myself fairly lucky because I got paired up with some nice people. First of all, my mentor. I got paired up with Robert Sternin, who is the producer for The Nanny and a couple of other really cool TV shows. He's a great guy. Like, Rob is just a pleasure to work with. It's really insightful, really encouraging, just a cool guy, just in general. And my director was Leah Bless. I'm just now realizing I never had to say her name out loud. Yeah, sorry Leah. She was also great. I think she definitely brought a great vision to the project. I think we were on the same page for a lot of the process, which is fantastic. I think we definitely had a better group dynamic than I think a lot of other groups in the contest. For this video, I really just want to talk about my experience with 10-10-10, because then I want to dedicate an entire video to talking about the movie that we made and what happened. Because I was a screenwriter on it. I got paired up with the director, and not everything in my script made it on screen. I just want to kind of talk about the differences there and what it means and what I think of the overall product that we put out there. But for this, I just kind of want to talk about my whole experience and maybe apologize for a few things. First off, no regrets with pre-production. Like, I think I just, again, like I said, I got paired up with some great people. I think I put together a script that is one of my favorite things I've ever worked on. I really am proud of what I put together on my end, and I'm really proud of what Leah was able to put together on her end, and I think overall it came together nicely. But at the same time, down the stretch, it never really occurred to me until I saw the final product, but I was asking for some things in the script that they were hard to pull off. The other thing about the contest is we have to film it in 10 days. They're starting, math. Okay, are you kidding me? Okay, so starting Tuesday of the prior week, they're like, okay, there's a press conference, and immediately after this press conference, you can start filming, and then we have to film it. Well, they had to film it, edit it, and then submit it by Friday at, I believe it was 10 a.m. of the next week, and I was not able to get down there to see them actually filming it. I'm sure they were silently cursing me under their breath for all the scenes I gave them. So I probably should talk about the movie, or just at least describe what it's about. It's called You, Me, and Me. It's a time travel movie. It's about this guy who goes back in time to warn himself about a future girlfriend who is going to end up breaking his heart, and all of the weird butterfly effect stuff that comes as a result of him kind of trying to tamper with his past life. That's a much better description than what I gave in the press conference. I think that was one of the more awkward parts of the whole thing, was when we were getting asked questions about the script, they never really ask you the questions that you want. I think the news press guy that I was being interviewed by, he did a great job of spinning all of my stupid answers into making me sound intelligent. So yeah, we had this press conference, we had all that, and then Leah was like vaguely aware of the fact that it would be extremely hard to fit everything in the script on screen and get it under 10 minutes, and also film all of it in 10 days. And yes, I still believe everything in the script could be filmed in 10 minutes or under 10 minutes. The problem was shooting all of that in 10 days. So about Thursday, Leon kind of texted me and was like, hey, so we changed the ending of the script, which was something that I think there weren't any fights in pre-production, but there was a little bit of contention over that aspect of it, because she was big on changing the ending because she didn't think it could get finished in time. So with all of that in mind, I didn't have the best attitude going into the viewing of the film. I feel like a lot of the writers were kind of down going in, because I got lucky. I got partnered up with a director who bought into the story, bought into the characters, bought into the general idea of the film, even even though the ending kind of sends a different message. There were writers who flat out were like, yeah, no, so they completely changed the movie. There was someone who, like, they brought in their friends to do a rewrite of the script. Like, that's cold. That's just ridiculous. Sit down in the Arlington Theater in Santa Barbara, great venue, just really cool place to see movies. There's someone in front of me, there's this old man that kind of stood up and looked at me and we shook hands and I'm like, oh hi, I'm the writer, in the most dorkish way possible. And he looked a little familiar. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. He didn't speak. If he had spoke, I would have recognized that voice immediately, but he didn't really say anything outside of hello. And he sat down and then someone said like, oh hey, sorry Chris. I'm like, wait, no, that's not. And then someone said, oh yeah, right this way, Mr. Lloyd. I'm like, oh no. I do not give off good first impressions. I completely botched my introduction with Christopher Lloyd, Doc Brown himself. Yeah, so now I sat behind Doc Brown while watching this movie. That's cool. Wish I had a second shot at that. I knew he lived in Montecito. I knew he generally was around the area. I don't know why that didn't immediately click for me. But anyway, movie starts. I'm the only person cringing. People in the audience really did dig this movie, and I should have appreciated that more because I made Christopher Lloyd laugh at a Back to the Future reference in my time travel movie. So there is that. Not a lot of people get to say that. That's pretty neat. But I was so worked up about the ending being changed and about certain things not going perfectly, like it didn't leap directly from the script to the screen, and I was the only person who cared. If there's anybody there who happens to be watching this and was wondering why I was in such a bad mood, that was why. It's probably not justifiable, but that was one of two reasons why. The other reason is one that I may actually legitimately have to apologize for, because afterwards they gave out awards, and the movie that won the award in the college category for both screenplay and film, I wasn't really digging. I can't remember the name of the film, and I'm sure if I watched it again, maybe I can appreciate it a bit more. The film was exclusively black cast members, and was about a lesbian couple, and, well, not a lesbian couple, a lesbian girl, and then she had a crush on the mom, and then also had a crush on the best friend, and then, I don't know. The theme of this year's contest was diversity, and I feel like maybe that script was really, because I didn't read the final script, so maybe that script was really well done, but at the time I felt like, okay, that's almost cheating. Just at the time in the theater, I was already kind of worked up about the ending being different, and then that still feels a little shady to me, even though I'm sure they put a lot of effort into the film. Maybe it's just complete bias on my part, but I feel like there were a bunch of other movies in this college group where I was like, that's clever, that feels interesting, and I wish that they had won. In particular, there's this one movie where it was like the son died and the mom was still holding on to him, and so he had to go find a friend for his mom so that she can let go of him and move on with her life. But it wasn't set up in a tragic way, it was set up in kind of a heartwarming, funny sort of way, and I don't know, it just, that, I felt like that was funny, and I feel like, well, not funny, I feel like that was done really well, and I feel like the script was also pretty well written. We only got to hear each other's scripts in the pitch meeting that happened back in November before we actually sat down and wrote the final drafts. I don't know, man. I was really just obscenely salty that film won. This is not the best apology for being mad about the way that a contest turned out, but I would just like to say, for what it is, even though I wasn't really into it, it was well written. There were no glaring issues with it. It was a perfectly serviceable film. I just wasn't into it. I feel like maybe that the fact that it was a more diverse film and the fact that that was the theme, I feel like that played into it a bit. I don't know. I just want to get my thoughts out there and say, hey, I tried to hold it down, but I feel like I may have acted a little more emotional at the thing and a little more salty, a little bit more kind of complaining than I should have been, all things considered. And so for that, I'm sorry. I don't know if anybody who was actually there is watching this, but I should have conducted myself better. That being said, award or no award, I made Christopher Lloyd laugh, so I'm satisfied. I'm good. I'm totally fine. Nobody worry about me. I'm good. I entertained some people, and really that is all that I want to do when it comes to filmmaking and when it comes to writing things. When it comes to making these videos, I would love to inform people. I would love to give people something meaningful, but at the end of the day, if I can just entertain people, that's fantastic. The 10-10-10 was a fantastic time. I want to do it again at some point. There's a new director, and I don't know how big they are on bringing people back, because they want to have new, fresh faces cycling in and out, but I I'd love to do it again, because I had a fun time. And I also would love to do it knowing the limitations of what we can actually get done in 10 days. Also, there were some good films and some bad films in there, but I feel like the films that were good were really good, and so just want to congratulate some of the other people who were involved in 10-10-10 this year. They did a great job. If you have any kind of these contests going on in your local area, just do it. Just start writing, start filming some stuff, submit stuff. You never know. I tried 2 years in a row to get into this contest, and then I finally got in, and I had a blast. And just do it. Just go out there and try and get into these contests, because you never know what you can get. Had I actually won this, I would have been able to say I won an award at an international film festival, and that's not nothing. I would be an award-winning writer, but oh well. We'll see how it goes next time. So anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for essentially part 1. So I've got a link in the description for the actual video. It's on Vimeo. Go check it out yourself. I hope you have a good time with it. Also, if you have checked it out, go ahead and leave some questions down below. I'd love to do a Q&A segment on what you think of the film. I was going to record both of these episodes in one night, but you know, I'm gonna leave some time in the middle, because I do want to get your feedback on how it went, answer some questions on the overall process. So yeah, check it out. You, Me, and Me on Vimeo by Leah Blitch. I really should have asked how to pronounce her last name in the 2 months that we were working together, so oh well. But yeah, be sure to check that out, and then we'll have the first short film review in a while, and the first of one of my own, so that'll be neat. Oh, also, before I forget, got a friend named Bear Riddell who is finally starting to get some traction in his music. He's looking to make some original music for a while now. He's been doing, oh my gosh, he's doing cover songs and entering music competitions since we were in middle school together, and he finally, this is gonna sound bad coming from a friend, but he finally released a song where I'm like, okay, I would actually listen to that if that were not from Bear. He finally is starting to find his voice and starting to put it all together, and he just released a song a while ago. It's titled Sick of It All. It's featuring somebody else. I can't remember the name of the rapper. 'Cause I'm so sick of it all. I'm so tired of everything. But yeah, he's got that song together, and I would not be recommending it if I don't legitimately like it. So if you think we got the same music taste, go check it out. Link in the description. And that's all. So until next time, God bless. Stay saucy.